morning students, welcome to the session on data structures. In our previous lecture we have started a topic called array, and to that we have discussed one dimensional array and two dimensional array, how we are going to store the elements in two dimensional array, how we are going to store the elements in one dimensional array, and how we will be finding the address of those particular elements that we have seen in our previous lectures. Okay, in our today's lecture we are going to discuss about n-dimensional array. See, by the name itself you can understand you people will be having how many dimensions? N dimensions, more than 2 dimensions I can say. Say suppose in our previous lecture we have kept a title called multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensions means multiple dimensions will be there for your array I can say. Say suppose in 2-dimensional array you have declared the array like this. Okay, data type and then array name and then row size and column size, or simply you can say size 1 and size 2 like this. If it is of this kind, then we have called this as 2-dimensional array. Why? Because we are having 2 dimensions and we are going to store the data in a format of row and column. And in this particular case, in n-dimensional array, we will be having number of dimensions. See, here I am having 3 dimensions, I can go for 4 dimensions, I can go for n dimensions like this, and I can declare my array. If we are having more than this, if we are having more than 2 dimensions, then we will be calling that as n-dimensional array I can say. And more than 1 dimension, if it exists, then we will be calling that as multi-dimensions. Okay. In whatever the manner that you are going to discuss, in whatever manner you are going to declare your array, you should remember that you people will be storing the data elements in the sequential order only. In a sequential order only. One after the other, you people are going to store the data elements. Okay. We have seen it in the case of 1-dimensional array as well as we have seen it in the case of 2-dimensional array. In the same way, we are having multi-dimension also, you people will be storing the data one after the other I can say like this. In the sequential order only we will be storing the data elements. But in this particular case, you need some imagination I can say. See, suppose in 2-dimensional array we have said that we will be storing the data in the format of row and column. That we can see. Why? Because it is a 2-dimensional, our board is also 2-dimensional. But in case of multi-dimensions, I can go for one more dimension like this. Okay, here also I can store my data and here also I can store my data like this. Okay, see, this is not visually complete dimensional array I can say. Why? Because you can consider your cube. In all the ways, in all the directions, we will be having different kind of colors. In that particular way, we will be storing the data in kind of n-dimensional arrays I can say. But while we are looking at a 2-dimensional array, as we are storing in the format of row and column, still in your memory, we are storing the data element in a sequential order only. Okay. In the same way, in n-dimensional array also, we will be storing the data elements in sequential memory locations only like this. One after the other, we will be storing the data elements. Okay, you can able to see now first one, second one, third one, and if I am completing this, and then I will go with this, and then next one like this, we will be storing the data elements in a sequential format. See, as per your competitive examinations, they may ask how we are going to store the data elements in n-dimensional array, and they will ask you people to find the address of particular element in n-dimensional array. Do remember that in n-dimensional array also we will be storing the data in row measure and column measure order. Okay, in row measure order we will be finding the address of particular element by using the formula like base address plus size of the element, and then we will be finding this. What is this? We will discuss. In a row measure we have seen that. In a column measure also we will be having the similar formula, but it will become a reverse I can say. From En we will be starting and we will be ending at E1. Now here the question comes as what is E1, L1, E2, L2, what are these? See, as I already told you people, we will be storing the data elements by the indices in case of your arrays we have discussed. See, in single dimensional array, we have discussed that we will be having an array. Sorry. We will be having an array like this, and every element will be found it by its indices 0, 1, 2, 3. In case of C and C++ language, we will be beginning with 0 and we will go to the n number of elements. But in case of Pascal-like language, we will be having different kind of boundaries, I can say, for your indices. Say suppose if I want to store the element in your Pascal-like language, I will be declaring like this: int a of, see here I am not going to have square brackets. Within this I am going for a single dimensional array. -2 to 2 means to say that it will be storing an array, but it won't begin with 0. It will begin with -2, -1, -2, -1, 0, 1, and then like this. In Pascal-like language, we will be having this. If you are having multi-dimensional array, then we will be declaring array like this, comma, and then we will be putting some 4 to 8, comma, and then if I am having one more dimension, then -1 to some 3. Like this, we will be having different kind of dimensions in our Pascal-like language. In order to find the length means how many elements that we are going to store in that particular array. We will be finding the length that will be represented with L. What it is? L. With the L, we will be representing the length of length of each element. Okay, first element to the last element. How we are going to find the element means Li. Length of ith element from your current position is upper bound, that is the last element size, upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. It will give us the size. Okay, see here for the first dimension, upper bound will be 2 and lower bound will be -2. 2 minus -2 plus 1, that is 2 minus -2 plus 1. This will become 5. Okay, see in this dimension I am having 5 elements. Like that we will be finding the length of each element, I can say. For each element, for each dimension we will be having length L1, L2, L3, like that we will be finding the length of each element. And here we are finding one more element like EI. What do you mean by EI? EI is nothing but effective address, I can say. Effective address. EI is nothing but effective address from your current position. See, we are trying to find K1, K2, K3 element now. Then we will be finding each and every effective address of your dimension, I can say, by having Ki minus lower bound. From the first element to your current position, I can say. Say suppose in this particular case, if I'm trying to find my some first element address, then 1 is my current position. For that particular element I want to find the address now, then I will be taking 1 minus lower bound. Lower bound is what? -2. That is 1 plus 2, that will become 3. See this, 1, 2, 3. Here K1 position will be apart 3 distance element from your current position, I can say. That is how we will be finding the effective address. No need to try to understand this. Why? Because as per the academic syllabus, they won't give you this example. They will be asking you people 1 dimensional and 2 dimensional array. Just do remember the formulas that we are having for row major and column major order. That's it. Okay, remaining things we will be discussing in later session, and we will discuss the example for this when you come to class. Okay, why? Because in this we will be having different kind of terminologies like upper bound, lower bound, length of the element, and effective address of your element. That will take a little bit of time to understand, and we will discuss them when you come to your classes, I can say. If it is necessary, we will be discussing at the last. But it is mandatory when you are going for the competitive examination and when you are going for the further studies. Just we will discuss an example in the last class of our semester, I can say. Just for now, do remember that n-dimensional array will be taking n dimensions for storing the element, and will be storing the elements in the sequential order only. Here also we will be having two kinds of storages, row measure order and column measure order. In order to find the address of element, we will be having this kind of formulas. Just do remember. Here E stands for effective address, L stands for length of the element. Okay, just do remember this. We will go with the example in the last session so that you can easily understand it. Okay, that's it for now. If you are having any doubts, just let me know by your comments so that I can clarify you people. And that's it for now. Thank you.